And we got the throwback song on.
Oh man.
What's good, y'all? I'm Roy.
It's Jeremiah.
And we back at it again with another episode of We Gotta Do Better. It's episode number 21.
Yeah, 21.
I think it's 21.
Nah, it's 21. Definitely is.
Lately, I've been hearing the term work-life balance just thrown around all the time. So I was like, you know what, that's probably a good conversation to have, because everyone struggles with work-life balance, quote unquote. You know, so like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think is there such thing as work-life balance, or what?
Work-life balance is very important, but I feel like it's undermined all the time because a lot of people, they tend to try to commit to their jobs too much to the point where it's like, you know, a lot of people would get 2-3 jobs and like slave, and then go to a point where they're spreading themselves thin and they don't leave no time for themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like work-life balance is something that's crucial, but it's overlooked all the time.
Is it something that's obtainable? Like,
absolutely.
Do you know anyone that has obtained that? Because I have an interesting take on it, but I want to hear
what you gotta say, bro.
Like, truthfully, I really don't feel like there is a work-life balance. I feel like it's just you. So like it has to be work-life integration. So it's really just you within itself.
Yeah,
so
it's a work-life balance.
Nah, I don't want to say a work-life balance, because if you just unorganized, you just unorganized.
So you're not gonna have no balance.
Nah, I wanna put it in words that'll make some sense.
Bro, the words do make sense.
Nah. It's because like
a work-life balance, bro, is when you are able to have different responsibilities and handle everything accordingly. I'll give you an example. When you play 2K, if you got a guy that can drive to the basket and he a sharpshooter, he's going to be a balanced player because he can do it both. Just like work in life. Your work is something that you got, like, that's a part of who you are.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got your personal life, which is you outside of work.
Is also what you are.
Yes. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why I use the word integration. It's like
why you can't use the word balance?
It's because
you get 24 hours, bro. So you have to balance 24 hours. The same way I get 24 hours, you get 24 hours. So at the end of the day, that's why you got to use the word balance, because work life, you got 24 hours. How you going to use that? That's just what it is. You balancing that 24 hours with your work and your outside life.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, okay. I just think it's just we thinking about it like different ways, and I'm using the terminology that
This is what
there's no give and take. Like there's no understanding on your side, so it's just not gonna work. So
there's no understanding on my side.
No.
So it's a me problem.
It's a us problem. It's a us problem, because I also know exactly what you mean 100%. I could have went with that, but like that's why I said I made the conversation difficult by using the terminology that I used.
Yeah, you're using poor choice of word.
So
you trying to talk about. No, I understand what you're saying, but what you're saying don't make sense, bro.
Like
because you can't talk about intertwining because of the fact that it's like no, you have to.
We're gonna drop that point and we're gonna get right back into it.
All right.
But so what is some things that you think will actually help work-life balance? How do you think that'll go?
I feel like first things first, you need to like be intentional with your time. So like you need to set a time for everything that you do. Like you need to pace yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, say you want to do work or something, you don't want to like do anything after 7:00 because you know you get off work at like, say you get off work at like 5. You got some work to do after.
Yeah.
After 5:00, you don't want to be doing anything.
Oh, so like setting boundaries.
Yes.
So like, oh yeah, so it's that I kind of what it is. So when you working, this is the time this is your working operating times.
Exactly.
When you at home, this is your husband
Me time.
duties,
Exactly.
your whatever duties you got at home, your son duties, your whatever. Like this is
Exactly.
family time. You cannot get a hold of me on my work phone while I'm home within these times. So 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever time, if it's 6 o'clock, whatever time you said it is, that should be. It's done. This is time for family.
Yes.
All right,
You
yeah,
need to- yeah.
That goes into like the basically like literally just it takes focus.
Yeah.
You gotta focus up. If you at work, you can't be at work thinking about what's going on at home. Because you're not productive. You gotta be working.
Yeah.
You gotta be focused on your work, intentional with your work. But when you're home with your family, you can't be thinking about, oh damn, what do I gotta do when I get to work? Now you crossing over lines,
Yeah.
and now you bring it. Now it's messy because whoever you with, whether it's your mother, your father, your husband, whoever, they're like, why you always talking about work or whatever. Unless that's a part of like a family conversation, that's different. But you bring your baggage from work over.
I mean,
it get.
that usually always happens though, because like people
And
have to talk
I think
about
that's
work
a
and
lot.
stuff like that.
I think that's a lot of. But our problem is that we're worried about what's going on at work instead of being in the present with your family, and that affects your relationship.
Nah, very true.
If people are workaholics,
Yeah, a lot of time, and then it's like sometimes on the flip side, a lot of times people let the home activities affect them at work and stuff like that. Like people would have a bad day at home, and then when they get to work, they're making everybody feel that. So it's like everybody's feeling that bad day. Everybody's like feeling the animosity and the heat that person has from what's going on in their personal lives, and it should never affect your work, because when it affects your work, it's just a negative trickle down effect.
what do you think? Like, there's another tip that'll probably help with the focus. Like, basically, will help with the balance. We're finding a balance, a nice balance.
I feel like one of the most important things you could do is take care of yourself. It's very underrated. I say drink a lot of water.
This has something to do with work-life balance?
Absolutely. Drink a lot of water.
How so?
Get some sleep. Because of the fact that when you take care of yourself, you're able to operate at a higher level. You're able to
so this is about like energy, deriving energy to do certain things. Because if you have no energy, you have no power. You can't do anything.
It's a chain effect. Yeah. So it's like all those little things. So like if you operate off of 2 hours of sleep, you're gonna be moving sluggish. You're not gonna be able to perform at a high level. You're not performing good at work. It's gonna trickle down to your daily life. So it's like social stuff like that. Like
health is a component of your life.
Exactly. Doing exercise. I forgot who I was talking to. Somebody was telling me like it's very important to do at least 1 hour of exercise, like bare minimum, like a week. Like at least take that.
I think it gotta be more than that.
Yeah. I'm talking about bare minimum. I know we ain't talking. I know what you're talking. Listen, bare minimum, because there's people that don't do nothing at all.
You right? Yeah. Most people do nothing at all.
There's most people that go months without working out, do anything. So for an hour a week, bare minimum, at least, like you need to get your body running. It's like a car. You got your car parked in the driveway.
Yeah, it's gonna get rusty or whatever.
Yeah. So you gotta take it around the block. You gotta spin it around the block once a week. So it's the same kind of thing. It's like, and a lot of people don't do that. So, older people, when they be at work and they get injured from just walking downstairs or something like that.
Yeah, because they not active. And then, I can see that. I also think, like, most people, they complain about work-life balance, but they don't even have a plan to get right. It's like having an actual straight plan on, like, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this, and this.
Yeah,
so now you can see everything, because a lot of times if we're not organized and we don't have a plan, everything is jumbled up. So now we leaving everything up to chance. Okay, yeah. I'll call you back. But you doing this one thing, and now, oh damn, I forgot my work at the office. I gotta do my work. I forgot to do this. Oh, I gotta go pick up the kids. And it's like, you should have. Okay, I gotta go pick up my kids first. After I do this, I gotta go return the call because I have to prioritize. Yeah, I think that's like,
yes, I will say I actually started to humble myself because I was one of those people that I felt like I never need to write nothing. Even in school, I didn't write nothing sometimes. You know, I felt like, oh, I get it up here, all that nonsense. So I started to take the time to start writing certain things down. Like, you know what? I'm gonna start writing things down. When you write things down, you look at it on the paper and it's on the list. You're like,
What's the most effective use of your energy at that moment?
I could do this time. If I'm a little more tired, I could operate this, and then you start to delegate things a lot better for yourself, and you're able to operate a lot better, and then your day goes by smoother. So I feel like that's very important as far as balancing.
Is knowing what's most important at that moment.
Yeah, no, what you need to do,
you could waste time doing something that's really not important.
Exactly.
So,
prioritizing.
Yeah.
Prioritizing. I would definitely say prioritizing because we don't do that a lot, bro.
But also, like, to add on to that, a lot of people we put a lot of things on our plate, and we're afraid to ask someone for help. Yeah, like, yo, can you just help me out?
I'll say two things about that. Taking on a heavy workload, it's like we don't know how to set boundaries for ourselves. Like, we don't know how to tell people, all right, I'm not able to do this at this time. I feel like that's very important. You got to be able to tell people, I'm not available at this time because I got X, Y, and Z to do. And, that also goes into asking for help. Those things I feel like are hand in hand. Because when you're able to be like, yo, I can't do this, I might need your help.
Yeah.
That way you're able to accomplish more and then still delegate your time in the most effective way.
Yeah, because you realize, I cannot do everything on my own.
Exactly.
No one could do one thing.
Exactly.
Well, actually, multiple things at a time. It just don't work like that. And if you need help, don't be afraid to get help or get organized. Like, oh, listen, right now I'm going through a tough time. Like, could you work with me? You know what I'm saying? Oh, could you give me a time extension?
Exactly.
That's communicating that there is an issue, but you're trying to fix it. So, can I get a time extension because I'm working through something right now? I need help just clearing some space so I could get everything done.
Yeah, and then I will say another one thing I could say.
What?
Trying to start everything like an hour early. Like, if you try to wake up earlier or start your day earlier, the days that I manage to do that, I will say are my most productive days. Like, sometimes I'll be trying to go to the gym early in the morning, like before I go to work. In a perfect way, I've done that probably like 3-4 times, like in the past 3 weeks. So it's like I'll say those days that I did manage to get ready to go to work. I mean, go to the gym, work out, and then go to work. I felt amazing. I felt like I got ahead of the day.
Yeah,
I got things done. But
the days you don't.
But before we talk about the days you don't, just getting there, like that battle in the morning is a real fight, you know. But when you win, bro, you win. Yeah. That's what it be. It's a fight. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I be in there bobbing and weaving, trying to get out of bed.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you wake up that extra hour, you give yourself that extra time
to set your intentions, to create your plan, waking up early.
Decompress and just so you know.
Like, yeah, waking up early for me is second nature to me. So I have a system in place to where, I got a 5:30 that alarm, wake up, boom.
Yeah, see?
Get your workout in.
What's up?
But that creates energy. Even when I don't, there's times that I'm like, I don't want to get up right now. I only got 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep. But because I have system in place that, just get up, and then I start exercising, just naturally moving your body gives you that natural energy. So now I'm up. Now I'm ready for the day. Yeah. And now, what do I got to do? When do I got to leave? What do I got to do? This, that, third. I got to eat. And now I'm firing off on all cylinders because I got my physiology going, and now my mental start kicking in and start getting better.
It keeps you going.
Just by waking up early, now you can control you can control the rest of your day just off of that.
That is very true. Also, since we just talked about a few things that help us get through things. So, things that we heard help us deal with work and our work-life balance. Now, for you personally, how do you feel like your work-life balance? How do you feel when you come? All right, when you start a new job, right? that's usually one of the hardest times to figure out your work-life balance because you're new.
Is
You're trying to figure out.
Yeah, you're adjusting to a new schedule.
Yeah.
So now you off balance because you don't really know how to maneuver in this structure.
What are some personal experiences you have with that?
Bro, like me, every time if I pick up a second job, now my work life balance is now I'm spread thin because now I gotta sacrifice sleep, or I gotta go.
So there's sacrifices. You said there was no sacrifices.
What you mean, bro? Nah, I mean in terms of now, like yo,
you said there's no sacrifices. You told me I gotta sacrifice sleep. That's a sacrifice right there.
I'm saying that like in terms of how to attack a new thing, I have to move differently. I have to move differently.
Which is part of the point I was making. Part of the work-life balance. You have to make sacrifices. You have to.
All right, touche. You gotta make some sacrifices.
That's what I say. All right, cool.
All right, like so yeah. When coming with a new job. You right now you off a different schedule.
Yeah.
You gotta attack it, see what works, see what don't work. It's also trial and error.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just feel like we stuck into whatever's going on. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Yes, you can. It's easy. It's like, yo, does this feel right? Get some more sleep. You might feel better in the morning.
I like what you said with the trial and error because it's literally a trial and error thing. Because I remember when I was starting my other job back in February. No, I'm bugging. Back in, it was like August. Is like that trial and error phase was very, very crucial. It was extremely crucial because like there was things I had to figure out. All right, if I do work from this time to this time, will I be able to manage my outside life? There was times where I was going to sleep at like 2 a.m. because my balance wasn't right.
And you realize that
wasn't working.
With this new situation, that's not cutting it no more.
Yeah, so
you have to change.
Yeah,
you
certain things were like, and that's like, sometimes I would like, all right, let me delegate this to try to do this around this time. This requires X amount of time. I didn't know how to properly balance, so now I'm up again at like 4 a.m. trying to figure things out because I'm not balancing properly. So it's like,
did you ever get a rhythm? Or you found what works?
I ended up finding a rhythm, and it was like, I will say, you want to set yourself to not work past 6 o'clock usually, depending on what kind of job you have. So if you have a 9 to 5 or whatever the case is, and you have work to do, you want to set yourself to not work past that time. And if you have something to do past that time, usually you would try to figure out. You would schedule it where you probably try to do it earlier in the morning the next day, or like you would probably take a little more time and earlier another day. Like you have to figure out a way to give yourself that time.
Yeah.
Because you owe it to yourself as a person. A lot of people don't understand that they owe themselves their personal time.
Yeah.
Because when you don't operate on a space where you have personal time, it becomes a mental issue for yourself.
Nah, that's absolutely right. Because see how now I have a new job, and me keeping 2 jobs, as of recently, I've been complaining, yo, I'm losing sleep. Yo, I can't do it, but that money coming in.
It's that S word, man.
And then I'm like, yo, but you know what? But then you already know me. I'm like, yo, I can't do both jobs on the schedule I was at, so I had to go take off some days on one. I'm like, yo, I just can't. I cannot do it. This is not balanced. I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting my sleep. I was trying
to tell you that, and you was looking at me like I was a clown.
So I had to, but look, that was trial and error because I was like, nah, I could do it. So yeah, for a month you could try to hang out for a month, and after
that sounds like exactly what I'm talking
about. After 30 days of doing that, I'm like, yo, because I'm also still trying to incorporate working out early. So I gotta wake up early. So now I'm really getting no sleep.
Well aware,
thinking I'm still like, oh nah, I'm doing what I gotta do. But I'm like, yo, sleep is a part of your health. Oh. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm working out, I'm good, I'm staying fit. I'm not really staying fit because you don't recover when you don't sleep.
Exactly.
So I had to be like, all right,
something gotta give.
So I took off some days. So
sacrifices,
and now I'm transitioning to out of both. Well, obviously leaving both of these, and then now we stepping into
A whole
The,
new
the next
field.
chapter. So
Exactly.
now I gotta. Already, you thought I already didn't have my battle plan already written down. I already got my. I know what time it's starting in now.
That's cool, but
like, I ain't
once
a rookie
again,
no more.
nah, you still a rookie. Once again, you about to deal with the trial and error phase. I'm telling you right now, you have no idea what you're getting into. You're gonna understand.
You right. I don't know exactly what I'm
Yeah.
getting, but I got a framework in preparation for. Like I built in room.
You can't
for,
prepare for something that you don't know is going
but
on,
but I built in a little bit of leeway. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna assume that my day ended at this, that, or at least let me say this. I got the start of my day pretty much down pack on systems that I gotta do like to start the day. When it comes to work-life balance, I think the best time I had a strict, like I had a good work-life balance was actually playing football. There's something about being an athlete that just you're on a schedule where everything just flows. You know when they say like you're in a state of flow.
Yeah.
There was a point that everything was just worked for me. I had football, I had school, I had a social life, and just for some reason everything just meshed to where it was perfect. I wasn't overwhelmed. And mind you, this is at a time I had a lot on my plate, and now when I think about it, it was literally due to the fact that I had a clear cut I had a clear cut plan onto what I was doing every day, and there was a clear cut schedule of exactly how everything was going to go. So I was broken down into time frames. So
you had a
so
plan.
like everything was in chunks of time, and that was the only way. If you don't have it in chunks of time, you really going to lose track of time. So it was wake up 6 a.m. lifts. 8 o'clock classes, finish classes, boom, 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 boom.
Because everything was already pre-organized.
And then
you just had to follow suit. That's it.
Homework time, and then you have your lunch. Then you even fit in your nap because your naps is. And then after you got your days structured, you also have your week structured to be Saturday and Sundays we off or whatever. That's when you get your social your social situations in.
Exactly.
So nothing was ever neglected. Everything was hit perfectly, and in those 4 years at school, I felt like that's when I was at my prime. And even actually, when I came back home after that, actually, it was also similar thing because I had the mindset of let's stay with the schedule. When I was working at the hospital, I was like, all right, boom, workout, do whatever I gotta do, hit the hospital, then go hit class or whatever. And I think that was the time when I was at the most. At the most balanced in my life.
Because you had a routine going.
Yeah, and then every time your routine is disrupted,
you go into a space of limbo, and now you're trying to figure out what you gotta do. Yeah. Balance. That's the word, bro. You lose your balance. You're trying to figure it out. It's like somebody knock you off your feet. Now you're trying to balance.
Yeah, and once you starting something new, you kind of lose that.
It's like tightroping, bro. So like basically you walking on a tightrope right now. You got a new situation. The rope is being wiggled. Now you shaking, but you're not falling. You trying to get that balance. You're trying to figure out what's going on. And then once you get your routine, you get your momentum. Now you just walking on that tightrope. Now you walking.
Yeah, like you can you name a point in your life where like everything was good, or where everything was just bad. Like there was just you was in shambles. You can pick whatever one you want to talk about.
Time when everything was in shambles, I can say probably the first month of college.
You was in shambles?
I was in shambles as far as like trying to balance everything out because remember, we came from high school, we was getting 90s for not even really studying.
You mean like schoolwork,
school-wise? Yeah, balancing. Yeah. So it was like, because remember, I was doing that doctorate program. So it was like, it's whatever. It's cool. I'm like, I'm used to being able to have good grades, put minimal effort. Yeah. I'm like that. That's why I thought it was sweet. I get over there, I'm putting effort, and I'm not even getting passing grades that I need. So now my mental health is affected because my academic health is affected.
Okay.
Because now I'm tripping in my mind. I'm like, yo, hold on. What's up?
It took you time to get your feet under yourself.
And then I had to learn how to study. I had to learn from other people. And then it was
you had to ask for some help.
I had to ask for some help.
I need some help getting.
Shout out to Jake Because that man helped me a great deal. I'm talking about like, man's helped me a great deal, bro. Because you have to learn, you know? You have to ask for help because he had different studying ideas. I used to study with him. And it's like, until I started to gain balance. Then it got to the point where I had a routine where like, I knew to study. I knew how to study. I probably got some study files on my phone still.
Oh yeah,
of like
you did because when I had to take like anatomy or whatever,
Yeah,
you sent me over some files. I'm like,
I already had study guide package.
Yeah, you was
already.
like, oh yeah, hey.
Oh, you want to do this subject? Boom, 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 boom. You know, and it's like I learned to be that organized because I was at one point never organized in my life. So that was me on a tightrope. Like I actually fell and I grabbed the wire with like 2 fingers. Your boy was almost out of here, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I thought it was a pack. I'm not gonna lie, but I figured it out. You know, I stuck with it and I figured it out.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, when I was when I was most.
No, you already talked about being most thing.
No, like basically when I felt like I was. Well, I kind of did touch on that when working 2 jobs, thinking I could do everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was off balance, thinking I could do everything and work out and do this and do that.
Yeah.
And think I'm good on the weekend. I'm thinking, all I gotta do is make it to Friday, and then I can rest on a.
Bro, that's what it be.
And then I got a girlfriend. So there's no sleeping, there's no resting. What we doing this weekend? What kind of fun we having this weekend? And now I gotta be in that mode. So now it was eventually it just kept beating me. I'm like, damn, beating me
I
down.
remember, and they got to that point where what you do, you seeked help, you did research, you're like,
like, yo, this is what.
I ain't figure out what I'm missing.
I also feel like that most people they don't have a good work-life balance. That's why they're always upset, and that they struggle with finances.
Absolutely,
they struggle with everything in their lives. Like when you have like most families when they're going through divorce and fighting and all of this, it's because they off balance. When your money's messed up,
I mean, Bill Gates,
your pockets is off balance.
I mean, my boy Bill Gates just
his work, bro. He probably focusing on his work.
That man is very balanced financially. What we talking about?
He going through a divorce. He going through a divorce,
bro,
though.
He gave his ex like 50-something a few billions.
Because look, all right. So money wasn't a problem for him, but
Absolutely
clearly work was a problem for him. He too big. At the same time, I
can't speak on that situation.
Yeah, because he also friends with
I don't know,
yeah,
bro.
We're not gonna get into that.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about none of that.
But
I will say though, balance is very important because there was a point where I was working and my work-life balance was completely off, and I was miserable because of the fact that I was overworked. I was tired. I was almost frustrated to the point where it was just like I was not getting enough sleep. I was going to sleep very late at night. And then waking up early in the morning to go back to work.
Yeah.
And it was like I was working late at night, and it was to the point where I was like, where is my life?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get to those kind of situations, you tend to lose yourself because you're not giving yourself any kind of time. Mm-hmm. So then I had to figure it out. And thank God I did, because if I didn't, you know, that's how people become angry, bitter, upset, because they don't have time for themselves.
But people also you have to define what balance is to you. Mm-hmm. Like, so individually that can mean something different. Balance to you may very well be working a lot because maybe you don't got kids. Maybe you don't have, you know what I'm saying? So maybe balance to you is different from balance for someone else. Or maybe some people need more family time. They need more time off. They can't work as much or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? If I'm good with just weekends off, and you like, nah, honestly, all I need is 1 day a week. Like for me, 1 day a week of rest is good. You know, all I gotta do is just work on that. I could work 6 days a week and I'm good. But it works perfectly fine with your schedule and you never miss a beat. But for me, maybe. Nah, I need 2 days off. I need the weekend off, or I need this day and this day to recharge. Cause I was also at that point before too. I was figuring out how many days can I go consecutively without burning out. And I was like, if I'm working 2 jobs, I could work this job 5 days a week, but I can't do this job 5 days a week. Also, I could do, honestly, I could do 3. So I could do every other day. That little rest, or I could like, no, nah, I'm gonna only take off 2, cause now I also got a podcast. So now I'm like, all right, you know what? I can only work 2 days, and then I can rest on this day. This is my rest day. But I know how much time I have before I'm gonna start dwindling. So I could function at this right here. But maybe you could function at a higher pace. Now, I could do an extra day. Or now you're right, I gotta do a lesson.
Exactly.
So it's defining. Everyone has to define their own balance, because it could be different for everybody else.
Yeah, you gotta be exactly. So everybody, you just gotta know yourself. You gotta know your limits. Trust yourself and believe in yourself, because a lot of time people know their limits and they try to go above it, and they end up actually. One of our friends, they had a coworker, and they was telling me how the person just collapsed. Like,
they overworked themselves.
Like they overworked themselves to the point where
they made themselves physically sick. And speaking of physically sick, I remember in my sociology class back in undergrad, one of the number one causes of stress related deaths was being overworked. So a lot of people, when you don't have that good work-life balance, you're overworked and your stress levels skyrocket. Yeah, and you probably not even getting nothing done. So you just killing yourself for no reason.
High blood pressure.
Because nothing is done with high quality either. So you don't have quality time with.
Exactly. You end up having high blood pressure, and then you end up having heart conditions.
Yeah, which lead to other things, and there's a downward spiral from there.
Yeah. So usually and it's funny because if you look at the research too, it's prominent usually amongst minorities. Like managing stress is also another thing that comes into the work-life balance situation. I feel like people do not do properly. I feel like people need to find things that, they find pleasure in, and do those things on their free time in order to alleviate stress and help them, relax.
Is actually making space for decompression, like setting a day. Usually, how we were just saying, set a day. This is the day of rest. I'm not doing anything. I'm decompressing. I don't want to say I'm not doing anything, but I'm not doing the things that overwhelm me. I'm doing things that have me reset my mind. I'm refreshed. I'm rejuvenated. That'll get me going for the next couple of days. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether that day is in the beginning, like in the middle of your work week or whatever, or even it could be a time during the day. If you had a board meeting and you running around in charge of everybody, you're like, I gotta go take my lunch break a little early today.
Yeah.
And that hour you have or whatever, that's the time you get your bearings ready. You like, all right, I could go finish the day now. I'm good.
Yeah, you ground yourself and you get yourself right.
So it's always just finding that time for yourself.
Exactly. Finding that time is very important, and it's extremely crucial.
You got anything else? Any other advice for people trying to find work-life balance?
I feel like we pretty much covered the majority of it. I feel like
I think and I think we are us. We're finding the balance. We still obviously we're still working on it. Cause even finding the balance to just come here and then do this.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's like
it take a lot, and then we gotta admit to ourselves like, yo, I'm feeling burnt out.
It's crazy because that's another thing. You gotta be real with yourself, and remember, there's been times I've hit you like, yo,
we can't shoot today.
I don't think we can shoot today.
My head not in there right now.
Yeah, my head not in there.
And that's part of reality.
Yeah, you'll be working sometimes like, yo, bro, you need a breather, bro.
And you check in on me like, yo, bro. Are you okay?
Yeah, bro. Like,
you're not functioning how you're supposed to be functioning.
Exactly.
I would just be like, yeah, bro, I'm good. Not knowing damn well I'm not good.
Burnt out.
But I'm trying. But the thing is, it don't matter because the quality of the work is poor, so it don't even matter if you're trying.
That's like you not putting that fluid in your car. You just on something like you driving. And you like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you ain't got no gas in the car though.
You got no gas. You got no fuel. But it's like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So you can't drive with your tank on E, especially with the gas shortage.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't drive with what you ain't gonna eat. That's a perfect saying right there.
Can't drive what
You
you
can't. You gotta feel like you gotta feel your spirit. You gotta feel your mental.
Exactly. You gotta pour into yourself.
Fact. Yeah, I think we just wrapped it up. That's episode number 21.
21
on work-life balance.
What's 9 plus 10?
21. And we got the throwback song. See y'all next time on an episode of We Gotta Do Better.
Because I'm doing better.
You did.